Have you ever turned to AI for answers when you have a medical question? I know I definitely have. You might want to be careful what you believe because a Florida man says ChatGPT's advice almost killed him. Now he's suing the company. Here to talk more about it is 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Have you ever used ChatGPT or AI to do this?
AI, no. I'm a little old school. I've done WebMD.
Oh, so that's worse, I feel. I don't know.
Yes. What about have used it?
Recently.
Yes.
Recently. And it's wild how in-depth it is because it'll say like, yes, we think you have this, but have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And then it like really takes you down and gives you a medical diagnosis. It's like, you should go to the doctor right away.
Wow.
It's wild.
Now, did it put a disclaimer that said this is not medical advice? Did you see that anywhere?
I don't think so.
And that's relevant to this lawsuit.
But I was delirious also. I mean, clearly
Okay.
I was on there for a reason.
Yes.
So what is this guy claiming in the lawsuit and what is he hoping to get from it?
Right, so he's claiming that Chat GPT gave him essentially bad advice that almost killed him. He was having various symptoms, saying that he was fatigued, getting dizzy, and Chat, apparently the bot told him, well, you have 8 to 10 more episodes before it gets dangerous. They suggested recliner therapy. They called it recliner therapy. So he didn't go. And then he ultimately had a pulmonary aneurysm and almost died. And so they're now suing, saying that first it was negligent in giving him bad information. And then the novel theory is that they're suing on the unauthorized practice of medicine, saying that they held him out to be a provider and he relied on this medical evidence or medical diagnosis and it almost killed him.
Can you actually sue a chatbot for practicing medicine?
That's the question. We're going to find out. They just filed the lawsuit, and the real issue is, did the chatbot hold itself out to be a medical provider? Because for the unauthorized practice of medicine, you have to actually hold yourself out, because they're saying in the complaint, well, he made diagnosis. He diagnosed my symptoms. He gave me suggestions. Never told me he wasn't a doctor, or at least that got less and less as the conversation went on.
You asked me if there was a disclaimer when I was going through it. So doesn't ChatGPT have to have disclaimers or does it depend?
I understand there is disclaimers, and according to the complaint, I think they are acknowledging that Chat said, hey, I'm not a doctor or whatever, but I guess as the conversations went on, they said the tone changed and the Chat started kind of appealing to his religious aspects, because this was a pastor, and started to speak more authoritative. And so the plaintiff is claiming, hey, I thought you really were a doctor. I mean, I think that's going to be a really hard claim to make because of the disclaimer, but that's going to be the legal issue that the court's going to sort out.
I feel like because of how in depth and in detail it can get about your specific condition, you could almost like, to me, I was like, is this an actual like doctor on the other side of this giving me medical advice? Wow. And it's not, it's just AI.
Yeah.
You know, it's just ChatGPT. So you can see how like the further down the text chain you go, you kind of forget that it said, disclaimer, I am not a medical provider.
Well, that's fascinating. I mean, you would be a great witness to say, hey, I use this, and that's what they may have. I'm sure if it goes to trial, I doubt it will get to trial. I don't think they're going to survive summary judgment. I think this will get kicked out before it ultimately goes to trial, because I think there's just too many hoops you have to jump through to say that OpenAI or ChatGPT was actually acting and holding themselves out as a medical provider. So this will probably get dismissed on the motions.
But this is not a first of its kind lawsuit, right?
No, it's not the first of its kind. There's another one in Pennsylvania dealing with another issue. But earlier this year, in March, we actually covered the lawsuit regarding the legal advice, because the woman got legal advice from the chatbot, fired her attorney, started filing all these motions. They ended up being frivolous motions. She filed like 60 motions. So now the other side is suing OpenAI, saying, you caused us $300,000 in legal fees.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
this is going to be, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You're going to have it in architecture, in therapy, in law of medicine, because you just hit it on the head. It was so believable. You were caught in, you felt like you were talking to a doctor. And that is the pull of AI, is that it starts to talk to you in a way that you're going to be very receptive to.
Oh, it is so wild. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this. Keep us up to date on it for sure.
All right, we'll do.
Let us know, Whitney. Thank you. We'll be right back.